This history begins in a period called the Age of Abundance. A displaced people known as the Lemurians built a thriving utopia based on unwritten worship and the mythic power of the tigress. In this ancient society, female desire operates as the foundational magic system. It is an active, volatile force of survival that physically sustains their civilization. Internal corruption erodes this Lemurian utopia. An elite class known as the Wanzabong grows greedy, seeking absolute control over the people's free-flowing traditions. The Wanzabong weaponize foreign concepts of writing to capture the Lemurians' oral history in ink. They freeze the culture's fluid traditions, turning whispered prayers into strict, unforgiving legal ledgers. The promise of salvation becomes a tool of absolute management. This codified faith is designed to guarantee the population's total obedience to the elite's authority. Long before the first colonial ship reaches their coast, the Lemurians have lost their freedom. Their leaders use the architecture of faith to build a prison for their own people. A new threat arrives when white blood colonizers breach the coastlines. They bring cannons, steel, and a mandate for brutal subjugation. These conquerors possess a fatal vulnerability, an insatiable lust for the famously sensual Lemurian women. The women fight back by channeling the ancient tigress magic. They invite the conquerors into their beds, where the men's vital energy slowly drains away, absorbed into the women's own life force. Traditional warfare and steel fail against this tactic. The women effectively transform the enemy's own desire into the ultimate tool of resistance. Recognizing that military force is failing, the Tambrian Empire pivots to a strategy of bureaucratic and economic subjugation. The empire renames the land Yalama and intentionally dismantles the native language. They force the population to speak an artificial, bastardized dialect that severs the people from their ancestral history. The ultimate betrayal comes from the Wanzabong. Driven by the lure of foreign coin, the Lemurian elite legally sell their own daughters into the colonial flesh trade. The Wanzabong use their codified faith to gaslight the victims. They frame this economic commodification as a mandatory religious duty for all Lemurian women. Colonial conquest succeeds by rewriting a culture's language and purchasing the complicity of its leaders. This centuries-long history of violence funnels into one specific bedroom. The epic scale fades, replaced by a claustrophobic contemporary reality. Here we made Haz. She is a Dajan, and socially marginalized divorcee, haunted by nightmares of the subjugation that defined her ancestors' lives. Her sanctuary is a man named Jong. He is an outsider, entirely separated from her oppressive blood and faith. Their connection grounds the story in raw, contemporary complexity. Jong is an openly married man in sweatpants. The Tigress of Yalama transforms geopolitical lore into a visceral psychological cage. It leaves us to wonder if Haz will remain a broken tool of her society's faith or reclaim the primal fire of the tigress.